Hello, thank you for joining me. And there you can see the map that I made with, well, I didn't make the map, I bought the map and put the pins in representing you lovely people that join me on here. And I got it there because I sit in a chair usually that's opposite to me and I can see it. And it makes me feel really grateful. What doesn't make me feel grateful, apart from being able to reasonably cope with it, is people who use scams, use phishing, use whatever, largely to try and get money from us. And at present, I cope with that. I've used computers since they first came out, but they have developed at a lot faster pace than my skills have. So there's a lot. I know a lot less than I don't know, if you see what I mean. And then there's all the chunks that I've forgotten as well. So I'm on hiding to nothing, I think. It makes me lack trust. And I question so many things. And I will check what I know I have to check. But still sometimes I will have to contact whoever is supposedly involved just to confirm. And that I find reassuring. Obviously, I don't do it. I do it by numbers that I trust, shall we say. But I was on a dating site for quite a number of years. And I've only recently come off it because I thought, oh, for goodness sake, I've had enough of this. And there were so many scams on there, so many people. And I used to give lots of laughs to a couple of the schools I went into. Okay, what's happened now? You'd get people, a very nice looking person, and they would tell you that they do this, that and the other. I think, right, okay. And somehow, and I don't know why, it just did not ring true. So I did a Google check on the picture, and the picture was a USA senator. So I actually communicated with the person who had sent me a message and said, oh, thank you for your message. You must be very, very busy, what with all of the stuff that you do and being a senator as well. And I reported them to the site at the same time. It caused me a laugh, but for others, that could have been a way in to start trusting someone and then have money taken. And there was one guy who, how can I put it? He said he was a pilot based at Manchester Airport. I said, oh, very good. Didn't say, that I knew the vaguest thing about aeroplanes. And then I said, oh, which airline? Oh, I fly with several. Okay, that doesn't happen. Unless you fly with an airline and then do some taxiing or something, but not more than one airline. And what aircraft type? Oh, lots of different ones. No, it takes a lot of time and money to get checked out on one of them. So he's not going to have lots of them on his license. So I said, oh gosh, that really does sound strange. What's your main airline? Well, I said, come on, tell me, well, I'm not actually a pilot. I said, I know that. What do you do? He said, well, I'm a baggage handler. I said, well, had you said that, I would have been quite happy to chat with you. But as you chose to go in with a lie and say that you are somebody, something that you really are not, thank you and goodbye. So, yes, we have to be aware. We have to be alert. The world needs alerts, as they used to say. So dating sites can be iffy. And I think I'm glad I went off them. But I've got some funny memories. So that's always a plus. And I did meet a few nice guys. And that was a big bonus. But sadly, nothing absolutely long term. But there are other ways of meeting people, and I just don't like walking into a pub or somewhere on my own. I never have. I just get the feeling that I would feel a bit like a puddin' walking in on my own and just standing there, or going to the bar and ordering myself a drink. Maybe I should have done it in Dublin. Went to Dublin, absolutely loved Dublin. And I was with a friend, a gentleman friend, shall we say, who I'd met on a dating site. And it was a big sporting weekend. I don't know whether it was rugby or whatever. But on my bucket list was to drink a pint of Guinness. Why? I don't know. Because I don't like Guinness, and drinking a pint of anything takes some doing for me. Half, yes, with gradual sips, but a pint, Anyway, we walked into this pub and it was just packed. I think there were a couple of other women, but it was mostly men. And they turned round and looked, and I thought, right, okay. And all they did was shout, lady in the room, and suddenly the stool was passed overhead and given to me, the lady. And you know, that made my day. And I did manage to drink a pint of Guinness. Took me ages. My friend kept saying, leave it to that. No, I've got to drink it all. So I did manage it. But we can sometimes trust people that we've never met. Like I then trusted these guys that were surrounding me, and they were being raucous, but it was all good fun. I did not feel threatened. It was lovely. But the scammers, I wish they would just go away. Because yes, at present I can cope, but for how long? I don't know. I will continue being ever vigilant and continue taking off the scams that come onto the channel, taking off anything that doesn't sit well with me. So on that note, I will say cheerio for now, because I'm going round to a friend's for lunch today, and I am so looking forward to it. Thank you. Thank you for joining me, and take care. I'll speak to you soon. Bye for now. Bye.